This group of silver maples may be the most difficult repot today. They've been in this pot far too long. You can see there's a huge dandelion growing in here. I think this is privet growing here. There's goldenrod growing in here. The moss is growing really thickly and the roots have been growing out into the moss. You can see down there. So it's well overdue for repotting these silver maples. So today is the day. Let's get to it. I grew these from seeds that I collected from a tree down the street. So my first step, I'll remove all the moss, peel it away, and see what we've got. All right, let's get this moss removed. So this clump started out, there was probably triple the number of seedlings in this pot. And every year, some would die off. And you can see this one died off this year. There's just, as they get bigger, I guess the roots compete for water and nutrients. And yeah, I just kept getting some dying off every year. So it's down to a nice manageable number now. And I can begin training them as bonsai finally, instead of just seedlings growing in a pot. So this is the pot they germinated in. They've never been out of this pot, so this will be the first root pruning of them. Here's another dead one over here. Just snapped off. That root was dead there. I don't know if that was a root. I think it was a trunk that grew up all crooked like that. No shortage of weeds in here. A big dandelion here too. Okay, so that's got the moss removed. Now I'll take them out of the pot. So here I go. If it'll come out. Oh yeah, it comes out pretty easily. Like that. So this pot was just an under tray that I drilled holes in. Works quite well. Yeah, so lots of roots under here. I think these white roots are from the weeds. I don't think it's from the maples. Yeah, they're just weeds from, or roots from the weeds. The maple roots aren't active yet, so good time of the year to repot them when the leaves are just coming out. This tree's dead, so I'll just cut it off. And is there any more? No, the rest are all alive. They're digging, putting in the fiber optic cables in towards our house today, so that's what all that noise is in the background, which is good. I'll finally have some good reliable internet, I hope. It's been pretty bad lately, cutting in and out all the time, and it may be because they're working on the lines. Okay, so the next step, I gotta separate all these trees, or I could just keep growing them as a clump like this, a natural forest. Well, I'll see. I'll start combing the roots out and see what direction I want to go for planting these. I won't be putting it in one of the pots that Tom gave me. I'd rather a similar pot, or something a little fancier maybe, but something where they can look good as a forest. I'll get this this privet out of here. I should grow a privet because I don't have a single privet growing anywhere as a bonsai, so it'd be nice to get this out and get it planted. Yeah. Yeah, not much of the roots on that, but enough. I'll get it going. They can grow from cuttings, these privets. They root really easily. Yeah. So I'll put that in water while I'm doing this work. I think all this soil on top is like the moss that's lived and died over the years, and it's created its own layer of soil on top, because there is bonsai soil down underneath. And I never put topsoil on this. I think it's been, let's say 5, maybe 6 years that these seedlings have been, growing in this pot. So they're well overdue for repotting. I always meant to get to them and I just never did. So it's nice to be able to finally get to them today. Now, wow, look at the roots on the bottom here. Holy, there is some screen down here. I'll see what I can get untangled and try and get the drainage screens out. I don't know if oh, there's some noise, eh? I think what I'll do is I'll work on the roots and come back when they're kind of washed and clean, and hopefully it's a little quieter. I'm working away separating all the trees. I've got 2 out so far. They're really intertwined and with, you know, some of those dead tree roots, dormant trees or dormant roots. They're all tangled up in here, so but I'm getting them loosened up, and it's just, you know, takes a while. It's hard work. There comes another one, I think. Yep, there. Got that one loose, and we'll wash all these roots after I get them separated. And there's another couple. There we go. 4 more to go here. That's encouraging. This one's almost separated. Yep, there we go. Another one. So I'm coming in with the end of the root rake and, you know, using it kind of like a root hook. There we go. There's another one. 2 more to go here. This is the biggest tree of the group. And I will cut them down in height. Still noisy in the neighborhood. There we go. Okay, I got them all separated. So now I'll take them over and wash out all the roots. Get rid of all the dead roots in here and all the soil, and come back and do the root pruning. I've got all the roots washed. I've arranged them from largest going down to the smaller trees. So you can see, yeah, they're not exactly what you'd call textbook radial root systems, but, you know, I don't know. Something to work with, I guess. Yeah, so I'm going to, how many trees is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And this one might be a silver maple. It looks like it is. That'd make 10, but I don't know if I'll use that. So 9 trees. So I got to find a pot large enough that I can grow this forest in. I'll have a look around. I'm going to plant the forest in this seed tray. I think that'll be a perfect size. And then if they grow really well and the forest is looking good, then I can transfer it later to one of those oval-shaped mica pots. All right, let's get started. I'll get a base layer of soil in here. It'll take a lot of soil, this pot. But the tree should grow really well in here. There's lots of room to develop a nice root spread. I can arrange all the trees nicely. Okay, that's a good base layer of soil. So next I gotta root prune the trees. I'll start with the largest tree. So I've got a big thick root off to the one side, or a couple of them. Not much on this side. I don't even know if that one's alive. That one's dead for sure. I think I'll start by cutting off that root that goes down, which is probably the original taproot. So here I go with that. I'm going to go right up to here. Good hardwood. Now I may be able to count the age of this tree. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think it's 6, maybe 7 years old. Okay, so that kind of gets the root base underway. I'm going to prune off this part of the root, keeping sort of this one underneath. I'd like to get rid of more, but I've got to keep the tree alive. So I'll just prune it back to about there, and that's all I can take off for now. So that's one tree done. Let's get out the second tree now. Wow. So again, I'll take off the taproot down here. Like that. And then I'll prune back some of the outer roots. And that's about all I'll take off on that, even though there's multi-levels here. If I remove all these top roots, maybe I can. I think there's enough left. No pain, no gain. That's better. All right. All right, next tree. Well, again, the same thing. I got a bit of a taproot here I can take off like that. I've got a root that's too high here and some that are too high here. One going a funny direction. That's it for that one. And some of these may not make it, but hopefully at least some of them will. Take off the taproot on this one. It's a shallow taproot, but it's still a taproot. And then I've got to shorten everything. Prune off these roots that are going straight down. That's okay for that one. Remember, this is just the first root pruning, so here's the taproot on that one. We'll take that off right here. Like that. And then, there's one here going a funny direction. Cut that back. One that's too high here. One that's going up here. Too high here. And not much left. Those are all dead. I don't know, maybe I should have left those two up there, but well, we'll see what happens. Maybe something will grow out from that spot. Okay, that's that one done. This one, there's the taproot. You can see it quite clearly. Off it goes. Geez, that one's pretty good. I like this root system on this one. Fairly radial. Looking quite nice. Okay, that's good. Okay, the next one. Well, here's what's left of the taproot. We'll get rid of that. Like that. Boy, not the greatest root system here. Kind of got two levels of roots up here and down there. Can't do much about it for now. All I can do is plant it and see what grows. Second last one here. Again, we got a taproot. Take it off. Prune back the other roots. And that's all I'm going to do on that one. And then the last one, looks like the taproot might have died on it. It's all black. I think this is the only living root, maybe the one off here, so I will just take it back to here. And trim these back. And that's it. Everything is ready for planting. I'm going to try for an asymmetrical kind of triangle once again. The tallest tree being here, a few shorter trees off to the side, and getting shorter over to this side. All right, here I go. So here's my tallest tree. I'll pick the front as there. Not for the root base, but because of the structure. And it doesn't really have a good root base, so Hopefully one will develop. So that tree's in place. Now my second strongest tree is this one. So it's going to go near the main tree, but slightly behind to there. The third tallest or thickest tree will go off to the other side. So I think somewhere about there. Like that. So that's kind of got a clump of 3 trees in the middle. And they're not evenly spaced. They're kind of tighter here and a little further distance there. So it's looking good. So the next tree, I'm going to leave a bit of a space. And I'm going to put it in right here. And maybe I'll turn that around to here. Yeah, to there. Like that. The next tree, I think I want it behind, back here. Sort of right about here. Somewhere about there. Yeah, it looks good. The next tree, I think this one, I'll bring it out front so it kind of creates a bit of a C-shaped negative area here. Something like that. Then another one in behind here. Yeah. Maybe right about there. Hopefully these don't look too evenly spaced. I'll see when I step back and have a look at it all, what I think of it. Now I need a small one for over this side, so I'll put this one back in the corner here. Like that. And then I need a small one over this side. I'm going to put that one up front. Sort of like about there. Maybe raise the root base up a bit. To about there. So that's got all the trees arranged. Now I'm going to step back and we'll have a look at it and see if anything needs adjusting. Here's a look at the planting from the front. So it doesn't look too good. I think I need a bigger space in the middle here. And I think this outside tree is too close to the other one. So I'll adjust that for starters. All right, so that looks better. I've got 2 trees right here that are too close together, and this one looks kind of all alone out there. Let me adjust those. Okay, that's looking better. So that looks better. You have to remember these are seedlings and they're all skinny and there's no kind of central focus to the forest. and they're all kind of the same height. It looks very rectangular. So if you can imagine, you know, the forest, how can I do this? Yeah, prune down to kind of a triangle like that. It'll really help, you know, the image of it. Eventually, maybe some changes of terrain. We can raise some trees up higher and, yeah, make it more interesting in the future. But I think this will do fine for now, for the initial planting of these seedlings, getting them growing strongly, get that root base underway. Again, making that transition from pure seedlings to the beginnings of training as a bonsai. Here's a look at the composition. You can kind of see it, maybe a little more of the depth from above. That, you know, there's some out front and some further back. So I think it'll look fine once the seedlings develop. So I'll fill it in with soil and give it a watering. They hold a lot of soil, these seed trays. It's always amazing. So these trees have lots of room to grow now. They should be much healthier in this bonsai soil. I don't know what the soil was they were in before, but it wasn't very porous or granular. I have no idea what happened to that soil. So silver maples, they are native to Canada. They're one of the 10 native maples to Canada. The Manitoba maples are another one that's native to Canada. The red maples they're native kind of to all of North America. All right, here I go with the watering. We are supposed to get thunderstorms tomorrow. So that's why I kind of made a big push to get all this repotting done today. And this is just kind of minor repotting. It's, you know, with just seedlings. I didn't do any major trees today. But it's good to get them underway. I think this will make a fine forest in the future. Hopefully the trees will survive. We'll see. No guarantees with that root pruning I did. It feels good finally getting to those little seedlings, getting them underway. I've got this pot of trees here. I think there's 2 poplars in there, a birch, some red maples. So I'm not going to repot them today, but I am going to prune them. So I'm going to prune them down shorter. I've got another fairly tall one here, and I'm looking for an outward facing bud here. Prune above that. Now this is a separate tree down here. So again, I'll prune it to here. I've got a branch coming here. I'll prune it back to here. This one to here. And this one to here. That kind of gets this tree a little more compact. It'll grow like crazy this year, but here's another one. There's a dead top on here. I'll prune off. Another pruning stub here. There's a good leader here, so I'm going to prune this one right back to here. This one to here. Really shortening this tree. Here, here, and here. That one's got that one more compact. Here's a birch growing up front here. I'll prune the lowest branch off a bit, and I'll prune the height back to, let's go right back to here, like that. I got a couple of maples at the back here. They're all right. I'll just let those grow. There's a few thuja seedlings in here that are not doing real well, but they're growing. So I'll just let them continue to grow. Everything else is fine in that pot. I almost forgot to plant my little privet in my maple, so I'll do that. I'll put it in this plastic pot here. I've already got a drainage screen in the bottom, so fill it up with some soil. I've used a lot of soil today. I'm glad I had a lot. So this one, I've got a taproot kind of going off to the side, so I'll prune that back like that. Yeah, that's about all I can do. And this other one, oh my goodness, look at this. Prune off some of the roots going straight down, and that's about all I can do on that one. So I'll put that in there. And this one can go in here. And I'll fill it in. And, you know, in future I can always use this in a planting or give it away or develop it as a bonsai, who knows. It's just good to have little seedlings on hand in case you need, you know, more to create a forest, or you never know when you'll need them. Give that a water. And that can go on the bench. I've got a Japanese black pine seedling here that Michael gave me. The Amur maples were donated by Rosemary from the club, by the way. Yeah, Michael gave me this black pine seedling. He gave me 2 of them, but one didn't survive the first winter. But this one did. This is doing really well. So I'm going to put it in a better pot, get some fresh soil in here, and continue to grow it. So I think I will put it in the last of Tom's pots here. That'll be kind of exciting. So I'm going to pull it out of the pot. Here I go. Maybe I'll pull the pot out of the tree. Wow. Well, it looks like it was growing in lava rock. Some roots that have gone through the drainage holes and air pruned. Break that up a bit. Tease out these roots. So I'm just untangling the roots, trying to get them kind of sorted out. I think I'll have to get my root rake. Okay, so there I go. I've got a root structure. The start of a root structure, anyway. Yeah, so I can kind of arrange those, kind of flatten radial, and plant it. So I'll get a base layer of soil in the pot. I'm actually going to use, this lava stone won't fall through these holes, so I'll put that down at the bottom. And that'll be a good kind of base drainage layer. And then I can put bonsai soil on top of that. And get a base layer of that in. And then, so I may have to do a little root pruning here. They're a little long, so I'll just remove some of the roots. I think about like that, not too severe. And then I'll arrange them in the pot. Try and get them kind of radial. Like that. I think that'll do. And then I'll fill it in with soil. Stay. Kind of like that. Try and get it out or underneath the needles here. Get those roots in the soil. That should be good. Okay, little black pine. So it'll be fun following this pine on a journey from a little seedling to hopefully something quite nice looking someday. So this seedling I think is 3 years old now, and it's never had anything done to it that I know of. So once again, I didn't see any active roots growing on this pine, so probably a good time of year to repot it. So I'll give it a good thorough watering. So this one I've been keeping in the greenhouse. I don't let it stay out on the cold nights. I've kind of been treating it as more of a temperate tree. They can't really take the severe cold. They're kind of like a Japanese maple. They don't like it much colder than about -5 to -10 degrees Celsius. Okay, so that can go on the bench now. I've got all the trees I repotted today over on the bench here, where they're kind of protected. So here they are. There's the maples, silver maples, the black locust, the elm, the red maple, the amber maples, the beech tree, the red maples. There's a lot of the larches I repotted before. Most of them look like they're doing really well. There's a few that the cold kind of hit the needles a bit, but I think they'll spring back, I hope. Yeah, so I'll keep an eye on these. I don't know how many will survive. It was kind of, well, pretty severe root pruning today. Top pruning, root pruning, everything. So there's no guarantees. But if they do survive, they'll make good bonsai. That's for sure. It was a busy day here in the bonsai zone, getting all these seedlings underway as bonsai. And that's all. That's all for today. I'm Nigel Saunders. Thanks for joining me in the bonsai zone.